Good afternoon, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport. On today's episode 13, Clear the Deck. The 2024 Pittsburgh Pirates crush a franchise record 49 home runs during spring training. Let's hope it continues through the 2024 season, as I will preview the upcoming 2024 season for the Buccos. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania hosts first and second round 2024 NCAA tournament games, and it did not disappoint. First round upsets, overtime games, single and double overtime games to advance. Yes, basketball can be great in Pittsburgh. Head coach Mike Tomlin and GM Omar Khan speak about the transformation of this upcoming season's quarterback, and they both are very, very excited. Hey, all of Pittsburgh is pumped up for this season at quarterback. Here we go. The Pittsburgh Penguins season has slipped away, but the Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads were found and brought back home where they should be, to the rightful fans of the Pittsburgh Penguins. All this for our Steel City fans coming up on episode 13 on the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go! Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. This is episode number 13. I am your host, Ralph Calise. Again, on IE Sports Radio, this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the radio station. And IE Sports Radio for the last 9 years, IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel, to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports with our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame. Yours truly, is the 24th member of the Sports Radio Hall of Fame. Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio Community Forum, and stop by the shop, check out the merch. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And always remember, thanks for listening. All right, so I'm going to start my show off with a little sad news. I'd like to extend prayers out to the Baltimore area. They had a tragic situation early this morning. The Francis Scott Key Bridge was hit by a cargo ship, and from what I've been checking out, they hit the main post of the bridge. And I'm sure you've seen the video of it. The bridge crumbled like a piece of paper. So prayers out to all those people in Baltimore who were affected. Sports is a fun thing, and Baltimore is a big rival, of course, of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And sports is fun. It's something for sports to have fun with, and when lives are involved and tragedy happens, it's all about that. So prayers out to the Baltimore people, and you're in our thoughts here in Pittsburgh. Okay, so we're going to start the show off with a preview of 2024 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's go over a little house cleaning for the Pirates. Of course, your owner is Robert Nutting. The GM is Ben Cherington. The mascot is Pirate Parrot. He's cool. Your manager is Derek Shelton. And I wrote down some stats of Derek Shelton because this is my first show doing a Pirate preview. I haven't done any Pittsburgh Pirate previews in any of my shows, but the upcoming 2024 season, this will be my first. So your manager is Derek Shelton. He's been managing since 2020. He has 218 wins and 328 losses. 2021 and 2022, both 100 losing seasons. To recap last year, Pirates, the 2023 Pittsburgh Pirates, it was their 142nd season overall. Imagine that, 142 seasons in baseball. This year will be the 143rd. They finished fourth in the NL Central with a 76-86 record, 24th in batting at .239 average, runs 22nd, 692 runs, ERA 22nd, 4.60 ERA, and their WHIP was 22nd with a 1.38. The Pirates have only had 11 winning seasons, the last coming in 2018. They've had 6 postseasons, and 3 were counted when they were in the Eastern Division, now play in Central Division. They have 3 division titles in 1990, 1991, and 1992, and they've only advanced just once in the postseason with a victory in a 2013 wild card game. So the 2023 season was, like I said, their 142nd season. They started out with 20 wins and 9 losses. As the season went along, they would regress enduring multiple losing streaks, failing to make the playoffs after a 7-year absence or win for the NL Central for the first time. Their big players was Brian Reynolds. He had a .263 average, 31 doubles and 574 at-bats, 151 hits, 24 homers, 84 RBIs. Jack Sawinski had 447 at-bats, 100 hits. He team leader in home runs at 26, and he had 74 RBIs. And upcoming star Ke'Bryan Hayes had 31 doubles, 494 at-bats, 134 hits, 15 homers, 61 RBIs. And he won a Gold Glove last year, stopping Nolan Arenado of the Cardinals' 6th consecutive season Gold Glove winning streak. Jihan Bay led the team in stolen bases with 24. Your main pitcher was ace pitcher Mitch Keller. He was 13-9. He had 32 games, 32 starts with 210 Ks. Your closer was David Bednar. He was 3-3 with a 2.0 ERA, 66 games, 39 saves, 67.1 innings pitched with 80 Ks. And of course, the Pirates pay in the NL Central with the Brewers, Cubs, Reds, and Cardinals. So that's a recap of last year, and that was not pretty good. I mean, after the start of the 20-9, the team totally regressed. So we'll go over the preview now for the upcoming this year. So the Pirates hopefully and finally will be climbing out of their rebuild. It has been 9 years since the Pittsburgh Pirates last qualified for the postseason and 11 years since the Pirates last scored a run in the postseason. This will be the club's 5th year under GM Ben Cherington, and they call it a 5-year plan for a reason. If it takes longer than 5 years to get a franchise on track, things have gone wrong. That's where the Pirates are entering in 2024. Cherington told reporters in Pittsburgh, "We have to keep working at getting better. We can't take anything for granted. We will keep working in both terms of how we do, how we feel like we're better, but proof is in the pudding. We got to go play and got to go do it on the field. We're excited about that." A year ago, the Pirates won 76 games, as I mentioned. That was their most since an 82-79 finish in 2018. And you can see the makings of the next contending teams taking shape. Ke'Bryan Hayes, Brian Renchel, and now Mitch Keller are signed long-term, as we mentioned those. And you have number one pick Henry Davis arrived last year. He's going to be a starting catcher this year. O'Neal Cruz is finally healthy. Last year's ankle injury, and more young talent is coming. So things are starting to come together. Is this enough to contend for 2024? We'll find out. And we'll do a little more previewing to try to get to that. So, like we said, they were 76 and 86 fourth in the NL Central last year. What would make for a successful season? Of course, a winning record. And possibly hanging around for the wild card race deep into September. On the field, that's a reasonable goal. Win more games than you lose and play meaningful baseball games all year. In the big picture, the Pirates want to see Ke'Bryan Hayes build on his great second half of last season. Young fundamental pieces like Cruz and Davis and Jack Skeens, their number one draft pick, a pitcher, established themselves, and others like Gonzalez, Jones, Ortiz, and Peguero to take the next step. It's a development year, sure, but it's also time for the Pirates to show something and move up in the standing. So that's how we'll preview it like that. Hopefully they can play some meaningful baseball and be in it for a possible wild card berth. So I have back in February when I predicted what the starting lineup would be. That was early February, just before they went to camp. And I have the lineup that's going to be starting on the 28th of March. So I had O'Neal Cruz leading off at shortstop. He is going to be the leadoff hitter. I had outfielder Brian Reynolds batting second. He is going to be batting second. I had Ke'Bryan Hayes batting third, which he is going to be batting third, according to this lineup for the 2024 Pirates. I had McCutchen batting fourth at DH, but it's going to be Jack Suwinski playing left field. Then I had Jack Suwinski batting fifth, and it's going to be Andrew McCutchen batting fifth at DH. So I guess that's like a righty-lefty-righty. I guess maybe when a lefty pitches, they'll swap them around. I had Rowdy Tellez batting sixth. The projected lineup has Henry Davis batting sixth and catching. I had second baseman Liover Peguero making the team, which he did not. Jared Torrillo beat him out. He's going to be batting eighth. And I had outfielder Joshua Palacios making the team, which he didn't. The Pirates signed, of course, Michael A. Taylor a couple of weeks ago, so he's going to be your starting center fielder batting ninth. So I got the first three, and then Suwinski and McCutchen were swapped, and Henry Davis and Rowdy Tellez. So pretty much on point with the two guys. Put down the starting pitcher was going to be Mitch Keller, but that was a no-brainer. He is going to be the starter. He's going to be the horse. The closer, of course, is going to be David Bednar. He didn't lose his job, but if he falters or he gets hurt, you're going to have Orlandis Chapman as your backup closer. I had setup man as Colin Holderman, and let's see, did he make the team? He's on the injury list. So, okay, well, not too bad. So the rotation's going to stack up Mitch Keller, Martin Perez, left-handed pitcher Marco Gonzalez, right-handed pitcher Jared Jones. And remember in a prior show, I spoke about Jared Jones. Keep an eye on him. He made it. He made the starting lineup. Bailey Falter will be the fifth starter. Your bench is going to be Connor Joe. He's the utility guy. He plays all over. Outfielder Edward Olivares. Infielder Alika Williams. He came out of nowhere. I didn't see him come making the team. And catcher Jason DeLay is going to make the team because Yasmani Grandal, who the Pirates signed, is out with plantar fasciitis. Can't say that word. he's going to be on the injured list. And the injuries you have are Carmen Molzinski, Connor Holderman, as I mentioned, Yasmani Grandel, and Jihan Bey, infielder, outfielder, like we mentioned, led the team in stolen bases with 24. And knocking at the door in AAA, of course, is the number 1 draft pick, Paul Skeens, right-handed pitcher Domingo German, who they just signed not too long ago, Quinn Priester, second baseman Leova Peguero, like we just mentioned, and infielder Nick Gonzalez. So that'll be your 2024 Pittsburgh Pirates. They start March 28th is opening day, and I think they're in Miami. I having a upcoming trip to Florida next week. I'll talk about it later, and I think I'm going to go take in a Pirate game in Miami, so that should be fun. Okay, so I have that as that's the lineup. Let's do some projections here. So, like again, we mentioned last year, they were 76 and 86. Now, these were predictions from the experts, if you want to follow them. These are people from Pittsburgh. I didn't go into any baseball gurus over there on ESPN or anything. This is just from the Pittsburgh media. The predictions are ranging from 89 wins, 73 losses, a 500 record of 81 and 81, 76 wins, 86 losses, 79 wins, 83 losses, 85 wins, 77 losses, and 78 wins and 84 losses. So the media in Pittsburgh, a couple have them over 500, and I think with a mid-80s, close to 90s, that should be a competitive season. But I'm going to go with the reverse of last year's record, and my prediction is going to be the Pirates will win 86 games and lose 76 games. There'll be 10 games over 500, and they will vie for a wild card spot. This mixture of young players and veterans is really a good mix. If the pitching staff can hold up, I think they could vie for a wild card spot and have a good season. My prediction also is that Paul Skeens, the number 1 draft pick, definitely, but my prediction is he's gonna get called up in late May, especially if the pitching staff is struggling with the 2 bottom guys because they're first-time guys in the rotation. He's right now in AAA, as I mentioned. He's just doing some, more pitching and getting himself more in baseball pitching shape because he didn't pitch too much in the spring training. They held him out. So very exciting times when he gets called up. If you can catch him in a uniform in Pittsburgh to pitch, he's going to excite the fans there in Pittsburgh. So that's the predictions I have. We'll follow that all season. Baseball's a very long season. Their first month this year, of course, like I said, is March 28th. They start out in Miami. I'm going to try to go to that. I'm going to be in Florida next week, so I'm going to try to go to that game Saturday the 30th. And if you look at the March-April schedule for the Pirates, there's not too many overwhelming teams that they're playing. I'm looking at it now. So you have 4 with Philadelphia. That's on the road, so that'll be tough. And they go to New York. They play Boston at home, Milwaukee at home, and then they finish up the month in San Francisco and over. So they got an early West Coast trip. So I believe it's 30 games they have between March and April. I think if they can pull out maybe 18 out of the 30, go 18 and 12, that'd be a great start for them. So we'll monitor that as we go along. And like I said, March 28th, opening season for 2024, opening day. Every opening day in every sport is great. I've mentioned this on another show. Everybody starts at 0-0, no wins, no losses, and your season is underway. And the first week is always exciting, especially if you don't play at home, because you have opening day in somebody else's park, and you have your opening day coming up later on in the week or the next week. So we'll follow the Buckles all season. It's going to be fun. I think they're going to be competitive. And let's go Buckos. And we'll track all that. All right, I see some people in the chat today. Jen B, hello, how are you? Patty B, heading home from work. Have a great show. I'll listen as much as I can. Hey, Patty, just sending me a message is good enough for you. Thank you very much. Like I said once before, I'm on a bad time slot here. Everybody's working and everything, so I don't expect many people in the chats, but we'll work along. All right, so we're going to take a break. When I come back, we're going to talk about the NCAA tournament that rolled through Pittsburgh, and it was very exciting. So we'll talk about that when I get back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I will be right back.
Hey, sports fans. Are you in the market for Florida sports, or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a down south education on Florida sports and athletics. It's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Okay, welcome back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. You can join in and listen to my good friend Cal later on tonight at the time he mentioned. He's the Vegas sportscaster for IE Sports Radio, and he does a great job. Love his work. Okay, so let's get into the tournament, the NCAA tournament. It returned to Pittsburgh, and it really brought the madness with it. So the brackets were ready in Pittsburgh. It was the first and second rounds of the NCAA Men's Division I Basketball Championship, and 8 teams from across the country, along with thousands of dedicated fans, convened in Pittsburgh March 21st and March 23rd. That was Thursday and Saturday at the PPG Painteria to begin their championship journey. Now we all know that is the Pittsburgh Penguins' home ice arena. They made it a basketball court. The action began on Thursday, round 1. The game 1 was at 1:30. It was number 14 Akron versus number 3 Creighton. Game 2 was at 4 p.m. Number 11 Oregon versus South Carolina, number 6. And session 2 was game 3 at 7:10. Number 14 Oakland versus number 3 Kentucky. And number 4 at game 4 at 9:40. Number 11 NC State versus number 6 Texas State. So the first game went to Creighton 77-60. Creighton out-muscled Akron for a 77-60 win in NCAA March Madness tournament opener in Pittsburgh. Jermaine Cousinard dropped 40 points on his old school in an 87-83 March Madness win over South Carolina. Jack Golke made a name for himself in this tournament in Pittsburgh. Made 10 threes as Oakland delivered the first true shock of March Madness, beating Kentucky. That was a big upset. Killed a lot of brackets, from what I'm understanding. And then Ben Middlebrook scored a career-high 21 points as NC State stays hot in an 80-67 win over Texas. Final March Madness game in the first round at Pittsburgh at PBG Paints Arena. So if you look at the seeding and the wins, all right, so Creighton was a number 3. They beat the 14th seed. Oregon beat the 6th seed, so that's an upset. Oakland, of course, definitely an upset over number 3 Kentucky. And number 11 NC State beat the lower seed Texas Tech. So right there off the bat, 3 upsets in my book. So the second round games, they were March 23rd. Now this was some day of basketball. I mean, both games went to overtime. The Oakland NC State game went to overtime, and the Oregon Creighton game went to 2 overtimes. So Creighton wound up winning 86-73 in 2 overtimes over Oregon, and NC State beat the gutty performance of the Oakland team 79-73 in OT. So Creighton advances to the Sweet 16 after that thrilling 2 overtime win over Oregon 86-73. The notes I took from the game, so it was Creighton 86, Oregon 73 in a double overtime game. Creighton needed double overtime in Pittsburgh, but they got the job done versus Oregon, an NCAA tournament game for the ages. Definitely instant classic. Creighton had an even scoring attack that put Creighton past the Ducks. Steve Oshawa, 21 points, leading Creighton. Trey Alexander finished with 20 points and 1 clutch jump shot. He tied the game in the first overtime with a jump shot to tie the game. Ryan Kalkbrenner added 19 points, including a key 3-pointer in the double overtime period. Baylor Shireman had critical baskets late in this game. 4 total periods in this game. The first half, second half, first overtime, and second overtime. Creighton advances. They will play Tennessee next week in the Midwestern Regional Semifinal. Now, NC State was the first game before that, and they won 79-73 in overtime. They were powered by big man G.J. Burns, as NC State muscles past Oakland in overtime to reach the Sweet 16. Now, if you've seen this guy, D.J. Burns, he should be playing football. He is just a space taker. The true meaning of a wide center. Watch this guy play next week. The versatile big man with the decidedly under-the-rim game, scoring 24 points, including the go-ahead putback that ignited a 9-0 run in overtime, and the 11-seeded Wolfpack beat the 14-seeded Oakland 79-73 in the second round of the NCAA tournament game Saturday night. Yeah, so he had 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. He was stuffing the stat sheet, as they say. Trey Townsend forward for Oakland. There was a little good thing about him. His father he's the camera guy for the Oakland college team. So he was on the floor there taking pictures of the team and his son. A nice little moment for those two, despite the loss. He scored 30 points and 13 rebounds for the Golden Grizzlies. The aforementioned Goakley, who made 10 3-pointers against Kentucky, poured in 6 more threes and finished with 22 points. And Townsend said after the game, I think people now hopefully will know that we're not in California. We're from Michigan now. Townsend put Oakland in front for the first time with a 3-point play. 2:49 to go in regulation, setting up a tout finish that had most of the fans inside the packed PBG Paints Arena pulling for the Golden Grizzlies. Pittsburgh was on board for the Oakland team. I was too. That group included Oakland presidents Ora Hirsch Peskovich, who watched the game from the front row while holding a prop Cinderella-style glass slipper. It didn't quite fit. And I don't know, Jack Oakley, after they beat Kentucky, he came out and said, "We are no Cinderella." NC State took advantage, moving in front for good on a Burns putback, and the Wolfpack ended the brief but spectacular tournament run by Golke. NC State 24-14 advanced to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 2015 by finally putting away a 3-point specialist Jack Golke, and the Golden Grizzlies 24-12 now in the extra period. Burns said, "I think that's what March is about. Some teams got here by winning their conference just like us, and that doesn't mean they're a bad team. The Wolfpack certainly aren't playing like one, while Burns is making a star turn. He's hardly doing it alone. All 5 NCAA starters finished with at least 11 points, and Jaden Taylor came off the bench in overtime to hit a 3-pointer off a pass from Burns that gave the Wolfpack a 75-7 lead. So they go on to eliminate Oakland, and they will now face second-seeded Marquette in Dallas Friday in the South Region semifinals. All right, so as we mentioned, Jack Oakley had a great tournament. He made 16 threes in the tournament. In the 2 game, he had 10 versus Kentucky and 6 in the second against NC State. So remember, a couple episodes back, the commission out there in Pittsburgh is looking to see if basketball would be a good sport to start professionally in Pittsburgh. I had a show with a little thing about that. So that's why I'm going over the tournament in Pittsburgh. I don't know if the commission was there to see what was happening with the attendance of the games. It's not officially released by the NCAA. So I went back on their website and just see if they had anything about the attendance. And they wrote this about the attendance. They calculated nearly 260,000 fans for the first round games, selling between 95 and 100% of their tickets. The second round games drew well with 131,073 calculated fans, buying between 97% and 100% of the advanced ticket sales. So that's not too bad. Between 95 and 100% in both games. But in the end, we are realizing that these fans did come from those 3 schools, so they might have bought up most of the tickets. But it's something that the commission has to look at and go through and they'll see what happens. If they can go by that, that's a pretty good sign. So we still have our fingers crossed for basketball in Pittsburgh. Congratulations goes out to the Duquesnes Duke. They got eliminated in their they won their first round game, and they upset, I think it was Auburn, and they wound up losing to the eventual 1 seed North Carolina. So the head coach, Jack Gambert of Duquesne, his career is over. That was his last game he was coach. Congratulations to the Dukes. Okay, so I have a sponsor here. It's Planet Beef Jerky. And you know what? I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, I'll read that sponsor. And we're going to talk about the new Steeler quarterbacks with Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan, what they think. And this is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Okay, welcome back. This is the Yinzer Report, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. My commercials got set back to Sin City drop, so Cal, you got another one. Kyle, you got another one out there. All right, so let's go over the sponsor, Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, low in sugar, and high in protein. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on another planet. Find it on Instagram at Planet Jerky. And then we have Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. Just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch. Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find that on Instagram at SealTheDeal_wax stamps and on Facebook at Seal the Deal Wax Seals. All right. So they're at the Steelers, Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan, the head coach and the GM. They're at the NFL's annual league meetings in Orlando, Florida. And Steeler coach Mike Tomlin had some interesting comments about the quarterbacks that they recently picked up. And it went a little like, we are excited about the guys we have in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and really can't wait to get started. Tomlin said Wilson is driven and he has the pole position. Now what he meant by that is he's handing Russell Wilson the starting job. He also said he's very impressed that Wilson did his research on the Steelers, and once let go by Denver, it impressed Tomlin on how he would fit with Pittsburgh. He said the trade for Justin Fields completed the transformation in the quarterback room. Justin Fields with Mike Tomlin, he goes, "Oh my gosh, he oozes talent and potential. He's worn the responsibility of being a franchise quarterback, but he still gets the opportunity to come into a community-like situation and learn from a guy who's been doing it over a decade. Man, there's a lot of meat left on that bone." He's really excited to see both guys start getting going at OTAs and training camp. Now, if you remember Mike Tomlin back on a prior show, I mentioned that the year Justin Fields got drafted, the Steelers, they were nowhere up in that draft to pick him up as high as he went. But they had Justin Fields as their number one rated guy in that draft. So it just goes to show you how much Mike Tomlin really loves Justin Fields. So they got around to talking to Omar Khan, and he was out there too at the meetings, and he said, "I feel good about where the room is and about 2024 with the quarterbacks we have." Khan said, "Things changed from Indy until here. We probably didn't anticipate the way things would go, but we're excited about where we are." He said those trades have earned Khan as an aggressive general manager, hence, like we mentioned in last week's show, the con artist. And he is able for the people who he was able to acquire, it's another label he doesn't endorse. "I don't necessarily consider myself or describe myself as aggressive," he said. "I owe it to Steeler Nation to do everything I can get to the Super Bowl." And remember, he said, "Yeah, it was fun sitting at home watching the playoffs and the Super Bowl, but the ultimate goal is to be in the playoffs and a Super Bowl." Khan still has several items to check off his off-season wish list. The Steelers continue to avoid at center following Mason Cole's release. They also lack a number 2 wide receiver after trade of Deontay Johnson to Carolina. We'll talk about a couple of signings in a minute for that Deontay Johnson to Carolina trade. The draft will provide some of these answers. Free agency remains an option, although the picking is getting slim in those spots. Further trades are also on the table. Khan was earned a third when options at both positions signed elsewhere in free agency. He said, "You have to be patient. I'm confident by the time we get to the season, we'll have the right 53 guys for us. When you lose an opportunity, it's not just a last opportunity. There's going to be opportunity to address it in other ways." So both of them sound like they're really excited about the quarterbacks. And hey, like I mentioned in the beginning, all of Pittsburgh is excited about these two quarterbacks. I guess Russell Wilson's going to get the starting nod, but from what people are saying and what's going on, Justin Fields could be starting by, who knows, Game 6, Game 7. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. But hey, like I mentioned in other shows, it's a lot better than what was there last year. And don't forget, Kenny Pickett was the only quarterback we had in the offseason before these trades came. So if they do a competition, they do a competition. May the best man win. I personally don't care which one wins. I like both guys, and I think both guys are going to change our offense. So they had a couple of free agent signings. Actually, just had one before I came on air. Their first one was defensive end Dean Lowry from Minnesota. He was signed for D-line depth for sure. He's a run supporter. Coming off a season-ending pectoral tear, he played only in 9 games with 4 starts for Minnesota last year. So he's just really getting himself back into football shape. They signed Kyle Allen from Buffalo, who was the backup for Josh Allen. Hey, Patty, if you're still listening, give me a little background on Kyle Allen. He's a 7-year NFL vet. Like I just said, he backed up Josh Allen. Basically, this deal will lessen the chance of us using a late-round pick on a developmental quarterback. Yeah, so you're going to have 3 quarterbacks in the room, and I don't think you're going to be seeing the Steelers draft a quarterback because I think Justin Fields is the future. He's only 25. Yesterday, they signed a wide receiver who's played for Philly, Quez Watkins. He's a veteran piece to the wide receiver group. So he's a physical guy. And Watkins and Jefferson signings are the 2 wide receiver pieces after trading Deontay Johnson. This won't prevent the Steelers, of course, by any means of taking a wide receiver, which they probably definitely will in the first or second round, depending on who's available, because they still need a number 2. There was talk of a Brandon Ayuk trade from the 49ers. It was hot and heavy, and then it just died out. And then it came out that Lynch, the GM of the Niners, says he was never really looking to trade him. But I don't think they wanted what they were going to get from the Steelers. I think they wanted a first and a second round pick for Ayuk, and the Steelers backed up that truck and said, yeah, nah, we don't want any of that. As far as the center, there was mention, and I mentioned this a long time ago, that they do have Herbig, the lineman. He has been getting himself ready, from what I've been reading, as a possible position center. So they're definitely going to draft a center. They have to. They need a young guy with the quarterbacks now. So they'll definitely go about drafting a center. So that's it for the Steelers. Oh, also, before I came on air, they signed a running back kick returner, Cordell Patterson. Now, you may remember him. He played for Atlanta under Arthur Smith when he had that crazy year. He was a hybrid player. He was running back, wide receiver, kick returner. I don't know, maybe he played a couple of snaps at quarterback. So he was great under Arthur Smith. And now, today, I'm sure as everybody's seen, they came out with these new kickoff rules. Maybe he's going to fit in good for the Steelers, because we really haven't had a good kickoff returner in years. I think I was just reading before I came on air, our last kickoff return was like in 2018 when Juju Smith-Schuster was a rookie. I think he ran back a kickoff return versus the Browns. That's Jen B's team. So yeah, that's a good addition. Another thing we haven't seen in a while. So this has been some off season for the Steelers. They're not sitting back. So these ain't your fault the Steelers anymore. Back from when I was growing up watching them and free agency and all that. All right, so let's get into the bobbleheads. I got a lot of feedback last time I read this and went through the Jaromir Jagr bobblehead heist. A lot of people who were listening and got in touch with me and said, oh, you have to keep us updated. We want to know when these bobbleheads are found. So, yesterday, there it is. It popped up on the Penguins website that the Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads have been secured. And they had a stamp on the front of the website. Case closed. That's great. So, of course, the Penguins season is slipped away. I watched a little bit of the game the other day. They were winning 4-1 versus Colorado. They won the Blues in 5-4 in overtime. Good thing about the Penguins is that the guy they traded for Gensel, Michael Bunting, he's got his skates moving. He's having pretty good games for the Penguins. So, and another thing, tonight they are playing Carolina. So Gensel's coming back to Pittsburgh. So the PBG Paints Arena should be pumped up for that. But let's get back into these bobbleheads. I'm excited. All right, so here's the presser that came out about the bobbleheads. The Penguins have secured the truckload, I love it, the truckload, of stolen Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads and plan to begin distributing the promotional items at the team's upcoming game on Saturday, April 6th. It was announced by the Penguins president of business operations, Kevin Acklin. That was announced on Monday. The Penguins were notified last week that the cargo recovery team negotiated the return of a stolen property to a secure warehouse located in Ontario, California. Now, that first line there, it says they negotiated the return. That sounds like a real legal thing, legal term there. But anyway, that worked out. The truckload arrived in Pittsburgh and was expected to be delivered to the PBG Paints Arena within the next week. So I'm pretty sure that's this week, or maybe the beginning of next week. The Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads are presented by Neighborhood Food Store. Fans holding bobblehead voucher for the March 14th game versus San Jose Sharks will be able to begin redeeming their vouchers on Saturday, April 6th and Sunday, April 7th. Details for both dates are below. They listed fans with tickets to Saturday, April 6th game versus Lightning and a Jaromir Jagr bobblehead voucher will be able to redeem their vouchers inside the PBG Paints Arena from the time doors open at 11:30 a.m. till 30 minutes following the conclusion of the game. Vouchers will be scanned and collected in the Dick's Sporting Good Wall of Champions hallway located behind Section 112 near the Ford Lounge. Then on Sunday, April 7th, the Penguins will host a drive-through pickup auction at PBG Paints Arena from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Fans with Jagr bobblehead vouchers should remain in their vehicles and enter the Jim Shorkey Auto Group garage located at 13 Century Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA. Vouchers will be scanned and collected inside the garage prior to the bobblehead being handed to the fans. There is a website listed on the voucher, so the website includes the latest information and will continue to update the future redemption dates. A voucher for the original promotional date must be presented to redeem. Fans must present the one voucher per bobblehead. Fans with more than one bobblehead voucher may redeem all their vouchers at one time. Hey, that would be a great family thing. Going to pick up a Jaromir Jagr bobblehead at a drive-through pickup option. Oh my God, I would love to do that. Well, at least they have them in their possession now, and now all our Jaromir Jagr fans can get their bobbleheads. I do have the banner and the patch, so I myself might be looking out for one of those bobbleheads. All right, so I see him coming towards the end of the show. Just want to mention I reached out to the higher-ups here at IE Sports Radio. I am going on vacation next week. I will be in Florida for Easter. My daughter goes to school out there in Florida. She goes to Lynn University. It's right next to FAU, team that just lost in the NCAA tournament. And I'm going out there to spend Easter with her. And my daughter got an award, a big award. I'm not sure the name of it for her business marketing that she's taking up there. So she will be honored with the award by the school. And I'm going out there to see that. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to try to hit the Pirate game Saturday night. So I will not be on the air next week. I'm trying to get in touch with the higher-ups to get that through to them. So do not look for my show next Tuesday at 5 p.m. All right, so once again, prayers out to all the people in Baltimore that were affected by that tragedy. Prayers out to you guys. And as always, Take care. Love all you guys. Thanks for all the people that joined the chat. I won't talk to you next week. And I'll start the music and I'll go over the upcoming shows for the rest of today. All right, everybody. Happy Easter. Take care. Go Buccos. Opening day is coming shortly. And we'll go from there. All right, this has been the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all of the sports. Stay tuned. Today is Pack Tuesday. Coming up, we have the Show of the Land with Gen B. After Gen B, the Buffalo Huddy with Patty Back. Philly Sports Talk with Chris and Bobby. The Neutral Zone with Adam and Zach. And you know my line for that show. Those two guys are never offside. And then finish it up with Sin City Sports with Cal. Played his two drops before. He does a great job, my man out there in Vegas. I hope he is the only licensed radio station out there from our station. Good luck, Cal. All right, guys. Again, prayers out to Baltimore people for that bridge collapse. I'm signing off. I will talk to you in 2 weeks. Take care.